take a look at how my potatoes are growing. Let me give you a close-up and show you. Now what I got here is, these are red potatoes. And boy, they are coming up really, really good. Let me show you. Okay, see now you can see, I think I planted a potato bed here somewhere, as I recall, but you can see from the last video. But so there's nothing coming up here yet, but you can see there was 3 rows, or yeah, 3 rows as you remember, and as you can look, it does kind of like 3 rows here, 1, 2, and the third one right over here. So you can kind of see that. But anyway, they're coming up, and you can see that there's some that are just coming up, like right there. That one right there is just barely coming up. And then there's some that are really well along, like this one right here. And some right back there. See, they're really doing well. So, I think I'm going to get a real good potato crop this year. Now, the real trick is I've got to ventilate this greenhouse here a little bit better. Like I said, this used to be an old chicken house. And it does have ventilation in here. It's got a rooftop hole that's open up there, a little ventilator shaft that's open, a little ventilator window that's open, and the old chicken, where the chickens used to come in and out of here, I've just got a screen on top of that, but that's open, so you can feel a little air coming out of there if you put your hand on there. So there is ventilation in here, but this is not enough, because in the summertime when it warms up, it gets well over 100 degrees in here. So on a sunny day, it gets really hot in here. So what I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take 1 or 2 of these panels out to let a lot more ventilation get through here so that this doesn't get so hot. There's a window I put into this greenhouse to get more ventilation in here for this summer. And last night, it's May the 20th right now, but last night we got kind of a freakish cold, and it was 27 degrees outside. And you can see some of these potatoes here. If you look at them carefully, so the tops of some of these got singed because it was so cold. They'll be all right. They'll recover. But there's something really interesting in the other greenhouse that I think I ought to show you. That it shows how the water that has so much heat protects. Well, one thing to look at is anything real close to the ground, it's fine. But anything up higher in the air, that got singed. And that's a big clue as to how these things behave. There's just an outside picture of that window I have in there. And I put one in here, and then the other greenhouse here, I put one in here. And this is so that in the summer it'll stay a little cooler in there than it has been. I'll have to cover that up when the weather starts getting colder. But let me show you inside here what happened. Okay, here we are. Now remember, I said it was 27 degrees last night outside. And here's that window on the inside. And these are cucumbers. Now, as you might guess, cucumbers, especially cucumber seedlings, are very sensitive to freezing weather. And if you remember the potatoes in there that I showed you a minute ago, how they got singed, these are really close to that window over here. See that? They're really close. And they didn't get harmed at all. And they're a lot more sensitive to cold than potatoes are. So, and why is that? It's because of they're sitting on a floating raft, and the water is warm. And when I say warm, it's probably about 60 degrees. So that protected them, I believe. And that's the only thing that I can figure did it. Well, here we are a few days after that singeing frost that I was telling you about that nipped the tops of these potato plants. But see, look at this. See, there's new growth coming out already, and the leaves that did get nipped, they're gone. But as you can see, the potato plant survived fine, and there's more leaves coming out. So if you plant potatoes early, and I have learned this from actual experience, that even if the potatoes get nipped with an early frost or something, they will come back. So potatoes are pretty good plants to plant if you're not really certain that there's no more frost coming, because they will generally come back up through the dirt, even if they get frostbitten right down to the dirt. I've seen that before.